Globex Racing Paints, delivering awesome custom racing paints for your iRacing car or team. Specializing in IR18 IndyCar and other open-wheel liveries, NASCAR, Sprint and dirt cars, and more. Additional services include custom helmets and driver suits, logo designs, and graphics. Contact them today on Facebook at Globex Racing Paints or email them at globexracingpaints@gmail.com. Globex Racing Paints, delivering awesome custom racing paints for your iRacing car or team.
Good evening and welcome back trackside. Once again, race fans here tonight. Velocity Online Racing heads across the pond for the Oulton Park GP. Multiple drivers already out on track for their qualifying attempt. Let's go ahead and jump out there with Jamie Jenkins as he's making his way around the track in his number 2 machine. Look at that thing, pretty sweet. Coming around these corners here and qualifying, multiple drivers, as I already said, out there, so we'll scroll them across the bottom of your screen for you right there. How you doing? How you feeling out there in Raceland, race fans? Once again, Darkside Dave in the cave bringing you all the great action from the track here tonight. Do appreciate each and every one of you joining us here tonight for the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park GP. That's right, Globex Racing Paints, delivering awesome custom paint jobs and liveries for all your iRacing cars and team needs, specializing in the IR18 as well as multiple open wheel liveries. You can check them out at on Facebook at Globex Racing Paints. Or if you want to just go ahead and shoot them over your idea, you can go ahead and message them, email them at globexracingpaints@gmail.com. Little bit different of a formula for these drivers here tonight. 15-minute qualifying session, trying to give all these drivers a chance to put down some time. We're going to jump around to a few different drivers because the track is a very busy place so far here. Very early in qualifying. We'll throw your qualifying numbers up there for you. There you see Jamie Jenkins on your screen. We'll jump back now with Lewis Woodall, rookie in the field, and Woodall off track. Broadcaster's curse right there. Right there going to Woodall, and he goes straight off of the track. Now we're on the track with David Stedman. He's going to go 6th on the speed charts. Look at that. Oscar Fredrickson, top of the speed charts. Quick time, 109.8 around this track. That is one heck of a lap. Getting it done out there tonight is that number 12 of Oscar Fredrickson. Julian Altina sitting right there in the 2nd spot. Jamie Jenkins in the 3rd, 4th place right now. Shane Coogan, Robert Sadler slotting in the final spot inside the top 5. We continue to watch Dave Stedman on his 2nd lap. We've still got multiple drivers out there on track putting down their time lapse. Nick DeGroot, Matt Houston, as well as Isaac Morris, Thomas Gessler out there, as well as Gavin Sanders. 40 laps around the track here tonight, or if we reach the 75-minute mark first, one or the other is going to bring us to a completion of tonight's Oulton Park GP. And around goes Stedman. That's going to damper his days. Qualifying attempt over. We'll jump now with Gavin Sanders, driver in that 90 machine, coming around the track now, back around, I believe that is, I'm not even sure about that turn number. I don't want to label it wrong here, but a little bit different without the chicanes here tonight. The international layout, no chicanes here tonight for Velocity Online Racing's Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. That's right, across the pond over there in Britain. On the gas and having some issues right there, not going up through the gears. Sanders hurting right there. We'll jump back now with Matt Houston as he's on his time lap. Matt sporting that Raceverse sponsor. There you can see him. Team Raceverse with Sunset Arctic Games. Nice looking livery right there. I like that darker red scheme on that Dallara IR18. He heads off up over the hill. There you see him cresting down towards this, the left-hander, or right-hander I should say. Looking through the speed charts, Julian Altina snuck one in on us. 109.51 quick time. Your provisional pole sitter here for tonight's Oulton Park Grand Prix. That one of Julian Altina. He has gotten the job done. We'll take a look back here. Let's see if we can't go up there with Altina here in just a few moments. See how his qualifying session is still folding out for him. And it looks like time's beginning to slow on the speed charts for Oulton, so the tires have gone away for him. We've reached the 6-minute mark. Here in this 15-minute open qualifying session, Alex Van de Sant out there inside the top 5 now, running third on the speed charts. Going to take another quick look around. Let's see if we can't find Carlos Palermo, rookie out there, driver. Oh! And another broadcaster curse right at the top of the hill. Around Palermo goes. Craig Forsyth also out here on the track tonight. For LMCgear.com, Forsyth makes his way up over the crest of the hill, well and clear, no trouble in sight. Looking to try to put down his first time lap. He's yet to put in a time lap. 13 drivers already on the speed charts here in qualifying for Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series. Here on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. And if you're looking to try to get out on track with some great IndyCar drivers, you can check out Velocity Online Racing over there on iRacing.com. Just check down through the league directories. You can find them there. You can find them over on Facebook as well as out there on Discord. So multiple ways to get a hold of these drivers. And if you think you've got what it takes to be up there on the speed charts with these boys, well, hit them on up. See if you can't get out there on track, top of the speed charts. Look at this second driver sporting that race-verse livery. Isaac Morris, top of the speed charts, 109.37. Just over halfway here in qualifying, we have had a few drivers jump around as far as their speed. We've had a few drivers make some mistakes early here in qualifying. They've reset, tried to put some different settings in the car if they can, and try to make it a little bit more to their liking. Isaac Morris, the man on screen, has the provisional pole right now, 109.33 for Morris, beating out Julian Altona right there with a 109.51, so just about 0.2 of a second. Not very much of a gap here. At a race course like this, 0.2 of a second, that's just outbraking a driver in one single corner. Can be made or lost very easily. There's about a 1/10 or 2 right there, just with that little bit of a slip off the corner exit, but Morris stays flat-footed, keeps on the gas, trying to improve his time lapse, see if he can put that pole a little further out of reach. Thomas Geisler going to slot in the 9th spot. Maxie staying back in the 9th. Geisler in the 8th spot, staying in the 9th. Dakota Dimash now up in the 10th position. Craig Forsyth going to slot in the 16th spot. Looks like we've got a few drivers not putting in a qualifying time. Victor Santos as well as Luis Gonzalez Nunez, Diego Perino, as well as Michael Jeffries, Gary Godso, Christopher Kresge, and Nick DeGroot, all sitting on the pit lane, so looks like nobody else out there on track, nobody else to put in a qualifying time. We are about 9.5 minutes into this 15-minute qualifying session. Gonna have to wait and see if anybody resets, reloads, goes back out there on track for their qualifying attempt. And while we've got ourselves some time, while we've found a moment, we'll go ahead and run down your championship standings coming into tonight's race. As we clear this board, let's go ahead and just clear this on out for you, race fans. There you go, loud and clear. Coming in to tonight's Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park GP in Velocity Online Racing Season number 3, round number 3. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, driver in that 15 machine at Aniki Racing, has an 11-point advantage, 70 points for Nunez. Isaac Morris right there chopping at the bits with Nick DeGroot tied right now back there with 59 points. 4th place, Matt Houston in the 66 machine. Oscar Fredrickson, Thomas Geisler, as well as Victor Santos, Julian Altona, Oscar Gonzalez, and Maxie Stang round out your top 10 in the points there tonight. And off to the right, you can see just how close the battle is here coming into the 3rd race of season number 3 for these Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series drivers. And look for the competition to just heat up even more throughout the rest of this season. A lot of great races coming up here very, very soon. Big race coming up next time we hit the track next Saturday night. Heading to the famed and hallowed grounds of the Brickyard. That's right, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on tap for next week. Race First. Big shout out to Race First, especially Matt out there for sponsoring the IndyCar, the Indianapolis race, as well as sponsoring the top purse here in Velocity Online Racing this season. Matt stepping up, big time commitment as always to not just the league and series, but to the drivers as well. Each and every one of the drivers want to give you a big shout out and thank you for that. $100 prize pool going to the top 5 in the season points at the end of the year. So big shout out to Race First for all they're doing, and it looks like they've got one of their drivers up at the top of the speed charts right now, Isaac Morris, still on the provisional pole, and it looks like we may have a driver out there on track. Let's see if we can't go down there with Gary Godso as he makes his qualifying attempts. Gatto yet to put in a time lap. Where will he be able to shake out? Can he somehow make his way inside the top 10, maybe the top 5? Could he possibly find the speed out there to dethrone your pole sitter, Isaac Morris? 109.33 quick time so far here tonight for the Oulton Park Grand Prix. Gary Gatto continues around the track in that Velocity Online Racing number 3. There you see it, down into the corner, very quick through that almost wide open right-hander, up and across the hill, now back down through, tight little right-hander, up over the hill once again. A lot of different elevation changes, a lot of different approaches into the corners for these drivers here tonight than what we have seen over the past 2 weeks. Oval racing majority in the season so far. We've been to 2 ovals. This is the first road course race of the season. We have a few more out there stacked up a little bit later in the season. Drivers having to refamiliarize themselves, reacclimate to the track on the fly here. With only about 60 seconds remaining in qualifying, it doesn't look like Gary Gatso is going to be able to finish his time lap in time to take over the top of the speed chart. So, indeed, it does look like that provisional pole going to stay with Isaac Morris, driver at the top of the speed charts. Quick time, 109.33 for your pole sitter, Isaac Morris. And with that being said, race fans, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Head down trackside for the national anthem, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early checkered stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The jets have flown over. The drivers are set to go here tonight in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. And we'll get set to run down your starting lineup for you here tonight. Starting inside row number 1, your pole sitter, Isaac Morris. Just to his outside, Julian Altona. Starting inside row number 2, the 12 of Oscar Fredrickson, followed by Alexander Van de Sant. Third row, Gavin Sanders, Carlos Palermo. As we get set to go, green flag racing for the first time here tonight at Oulton Park Grand Prix for the Globex. Oh my goodness, drivers coming all sorts of ways off of the corner right there. Multiple drivers with some problems. Big time issues into turn number 1 here for the opening lap of the Oulton Park Grand Prix. There you see more drivers with some trouble. Off track goes Louisa Woodall. Multiple drivers also involved in that very first turn incident here tonight. Alex Van de Sant, Craig Forsyth, as well as Louis Woodall involved in that turn 1 incident. Craig Forsyth has had some damage. John Christensen, Victor Santos, multiple drivers with some troubles here. As we watch the front of the field, Isaac Moore. Oh, and a driver goes off. Alex Van de Sant goes flying through the corner, way off the track. He's going to lose a ton of ground. Multiple drivers already behind pit wall here very early in tonight's Grand Prix. Lap number 1, very busy. Front of the field begins to give themselves some gaps. We'll jump back to this battle going on with Victor Santos. He's got Christopher Kresge just in his sights. And Kresge, oh my, that nose cone is off, and he is off track once again down in the gravel pit. That is not where you want to be found in the kitty litter out there. That's going to slow him down for sure. Top of the speed charts, Isaac Morris, your pole sitter, walking away now, 7/10 of an advantage for him. Julian Altona right there, still in second on lap number 2. Oscar Fredrickson still slotted in right where he started tonight's race in the 3rd position. Gonna take a look at some of this action that we had. Or actually, we'll go to this action on track right here. Battle for the last spot on the podium. Oscar Fredrickson right there. He's got Gavin Sanders hunting him down. Julian Altona not very far in front of this battle for the 3rd spot, so you can pretty much make this a 3-car battle from 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Small gap back to Carlos Palermo running in the 5th position. Maxie Stang now in 6th. Very big. Oh my goodness, and Oscar Fredrickson off track. He's going to lose some time, lose some ground. Seen it happen right there on the screen. He continues to fall back through the speed charts. Back to this man right here, Gavin Sanderson. He now enjoys that final podium spot. Carlos Palermo moving to 4th, 5th place, Maxie Stang. Back to this battle right here. There you can find Robert Sadler trying to make some gains on Maxie Stang right there just in front of him. Maxie piloting that 93 machine. Sadler in the 8 hot on the trail. Fredrickson just a little bit behind these drivers, about 0.6 of a second separates himself from this 2-car battle right in front of him. You're not missing anything at the front of the field. Isaac Morris has stepped out to a 1.5 second advantage here on lap number 3 in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. And as the drivers begin to settle in, as the lap times begin to fall in line, let's take a look at some of the incidents very early here tonight. Let's go back to that lap 1, turn 1 incident. Let's take a look on the replay, see how it all went down. There you see a stack up coming to the green flag. That caught out a lot of drivers right before we even got going. Lewis Woodall as well as Craig Forsyth involved in that one. And then we had this turn 1 incident. There you see getting punted across the screen. More. Oh, man. That is just horrible. That 55 machine had absolutely no chance. Lewis Woodall just destroyed in that lap 1, turn 1 incident. Craig Forsyth also off track during all that, so we'll rejoin the front of the field with Robert Sadler still trying to chase down Maxie Snang and take over that final spot in the top 5. Something else a little bit newer to these drivers this week here at the road course, the allowance of the push to pass button in the Dallara IR18. The machine is only available to have the push to pass on the road course, so that's giving these drivers a little extra boost, a shot in the arm, if you will. Allowed to hit it, you get about 30 seconds of extra horsepower. Allowed to push the button multiple times until you pretty much run out of your time. So you got to be careful about how you use it. Got to be careful about how you manage that. Multiple drivers already in the double digits on that push to pass. So we'll keep our eye on that. Oh, back on lap number 4. Looks like Victor Santos had an issue. He's had a crash. Let's go see what happened back here on lap number 4. To Victor Santos. Taking a look back there, you see Santos on screen coming up over the hill. And just around it goes. Tires just not having the grip. Another driver off track. John Christensen goes off track to avoid Victor Santos. That's going to put a damper on Santos' days for just a little bit. We'll rejoin this battle right here. Still a very close battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th on track. Maxie Stang with Robert Sadler and Oscar Fredrickson continue to battle here on lap number 6 of 40 scheduled in the official race distance here tonight in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Gonna throw the battle box up for you so you can get an idea of how this is all shaken out right here on screen for you. There you have it, bottom right hand corner. As we'll scroll the ticker across the top of the screen for you so you can check in on where all of your favorite IndyCar drivers are running here tonight at Oulton Park for Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series Season number 3, Round number 3, the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Seeing a lot of the red wall tires out there early here in this Grand Prix. Looks like all the drivers, or the majority of the drivers out there, have elected to take those red wall tires here in their opening stint. A few drivers electing to take the white walls, one of them being the man right here running just in front of Robert Sadler. Maxie Stang, he's tried to keep Sadler at bay and has done a very fine job, especially on the alternate set of tires. Able to keep the pace, keep Sadler as well as Fredrickson behind him. Only a handful of drivers opting for those white wall tires on their opening stint. This man right here on screen, Maxie Stang, being the highest runner of those drivers, keeping those white wall tires for their opening stint. Got to go all the way back outside the top 10 into the 12th position. There you see him right there. Driver inside that number 2 machine, Jamie Jenkins, running back in the 12th spot. So Jenkins off the pace just a little bit, but lap times not that bad. He had a little brief moment a few handful of laps ago, but has since right at the ship and is beginning to slowly claw his way back up to the rear gearbox of Michael Jeffries, running in the 11th spot. Big shout out to Jeffries, up 14 spots from where he started tonight's race, running now in the 11th position, just outside of the top 10. And things beginning to heat up at the front of the field. Look at this, race fans. Julian Altina has begun to run down your pole sitter, Isaac Morris. Has Morris heated up the tires? Has he worn them off? Altina now trying to close the distance, and he's going to bring Gavin Sanders with him. Both of these drivers in the top 2 spots have hit the push to pass 10 times so far. Gavin Sanders, 1 less than him. Back there with 9 push to pass so far here as we are on lap number 9 out of the 40 scheduled in the official race distance. Keep in mind, race fans, this could come down to a timed event. It's 40 laps or 75 minutes, whichever one should come first. So you gotta get the pace out of the car while you've got the pace in the car. Now working their way around a back marker. Looks like Isaac Morris gonna put a driver yet another lap down. I believe that is Gary. No, that is not. No, that's not Gary Godso, is it? I believe that's the 38 of Diego Perino, back in the 14th position, falling yet a lap down here tonight. First car off of the lead lap, and it's going to be very, very hard to overcome that. Road racing rules in effect, so there are only local cautions, no full course cautions to get yourself caught up. No such thing as a lucky dog here in road course racing. So if you find yourself behind the 8 ball, you may just end up with a very bad night. Back on the loud pedal once again. Morris begins to stretch that lead back out. Now the gap back upwards of 1 second. So Altina was closing the distance, but has lost a little bit of ground here as Morris has hit the gas once again and begun to step back away. Now almost a 1.5 second advantage. He's going to make his way around Victor Santos. Santos going to fall a lap down as well here tonight. Last man on the lead lap, Matt Houston, running in the 66 machine back there in the 12th spot. He's about 57 seconds behind your race leader, so he's only about, I would say, about 15 to 20 seconds in front of the race leader. So very, very close to already being put a lap down is Houston. He's been on and off of pit road already once after a very early incident. So Houston behind the 8 ball to begin tonight's race. He's going to have to stay out there for a very long stint here to open tonight's Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Blazing fast pace at the front of the field for your pole sitter. Dominating performance so far by Isaac Morris. He has been able to maintain the gap. He kind of lets it accordion a little bit. He opens it up, lets it kind of get right back around that 1 second mark, and then we should see him here in just a few moments begin to stretch that back out upwards to the 1.5 second mark, and then kind of relax for a little bit, let the tires kind of come back to him, and then push, hammer down, hammer time, one more time, and Morris stretches the gap once again. There you see it beginning to increase once again. Now Julian Altina, he has begun to step away from Gavin Sanders as well. Sanders now about 2 seconds behind Oulton, so it's slowly becoming a 2-car battle for the trophy here tonight. And Morris continuing to run into some back markers here. I believe that is, yes, indeed, that is actually Craig Forsyth just in front of your race leader there. You can see him back in the distance coming through this little straightaway here to the left-hand corner. Hard on the brakes into the right-hander, big sweeping right-hand corner. Got to make sure you get the car turned through the center, power down on the exit. And Forsyth gonna struggle to try to stay on the lead lap because the race leader, Isaac Morris, he is right there. Morris gonna make his way by. No harm, no foul. Looks like Forsyth got right out of the way. We'll check in, see how quickly Oulton can do away with Forsyth. And there you have it, very quick on the pass was Oulton. Looking through some of the timing and scoring, we do have drivers that have already hit pit road. A few of them, Oscar Fredrickson as well as Robert Sadler, Matt Houston. Dakota DeMage also onto pit road. Fredrickson onto pit road 2 laps ago. The top 6 remain out on the track. Just moments ago, Michael Jeffries hitting the pit limiter there, getting on and off pit road now, taking his machine off of pit road. Can Oulton somehow close those final few tenths, 7 tenths? Now separate your top 2 drivers on track. There you have your race leader going back up over the top of the hill. We'll go high above now with one of our turn 3 drone cams here for tonight's Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix up over that left-hand corner, up over the hill. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's not just the different turns, the technicalities of the turns, how you got to get into the braking zones, but you got to watch how you crest these hills. You got to watch the elevation changes because they do have a big-time effect on the aero and the way that the car sticks to the track. And right now, sticking to the front of the field, Isaac Morris continues to lead Julian Oulton. Those 2 drivers still running right where they started tonight's Grand Prix race, sitting pole and outside pole. Isaac Morris has continued to lead all 14 laps so far here tonight out of the 40 scheduled in the official race distance, working his way into some more lap traffic. Morris trying to stretch that gap back out, but Oulton not going away. This is the closest this battle has been since the drop of the green flag on lap number 1. Oulton now down within a half a second. Can he get there? He is knocking on the door. Getting there and getting by is one thing. Big time pressure now through this little chicane. I call it a chicane. It's a quick little left, right, left. Oulton searching for a way, looking for some grip. Not going to be able to make the pass into the corner right there. Going to come and crest down over the hill and continue to try to track down the man at the front of the field. Isaac Morris continues to lead tonight's race, has yet to make a pit stop. And drivers were speaking pre-race of possible pit strategies, maybe being upwards of 3, possibly even 4 pit stops here tonight in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. But yet your top 6 have yet to come to pit road. Isaac Morris, your pole sitter, continues to lead. Julian Oulton right there in second spot. Gavin Sanders 3 seconds back behind this battle on track. Maxie staying in 4th, 5th place. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, big time gain for him as we've got a battle side by side into the corner. Oulton off track. He's going to give up some ground now. All of that hard work to close that distance and get side by side has went away with that one little off-track excursion. Oulton now falls 1.2 seconds back behind Isaac Morris. Last driver to come to pit road, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, the last driver in the top 5, yet to come to pit road. So your top 5 still waiting for those fresher tires. Very fast-paced race here tonight, and Luis Gonzalez Nunez goes off track. Oh my, what happened to Nunez? We'll take a look back here, see what happened. Nunez, there you see it, just a little bit of a lockup up over that corner, and exactly as we were saying, just very tough sometimes, these elevation changes. Have had another incident. Maxie Stang has had an incident. Let's see what's happened to Stang. Maxie running in the 4th position. We'll see what happened here. There you see just a lazy slide off of the track. No harm, no foul. He gets it fired back up, headed back in the right direction. So we'll rejoin the race live as Luis Gonzalez Nunez makes his way off of pit road. Your top 4 still yet to make their green flag pit stop. Isaac Morris continues to lead. Julian Altona just a half a second back. Gavin Sanders has closed the gap back once again. He's knocking on the door, just 1.5 seconds back behind your race leader. Big time gap back to that 4th place runner right now, Maxie Stang. He's going to have to pull something out of his hat if he is going to try to get up there and battle for a podium spot here tonight. Stang sitting about 19 seconds off of the race lead, 17 seconds behind your 3rd place runner, Gavin Sanders. Great racing action here tonight, race fans, and if you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in each and every time, whether you're just casually stopping by or the devoted fan, friend, or family. We appreciate each and every one of you. The drivers definitely appreciate each and every one of you tuning in each and every week to enjoy what they do so well. So if you haven't already, go ahead and throw these Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series drivers a thumbs up for all the great action here tonight for the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Globex Racing Paints, delivering awesome custom racing paints for your iRacing car or teams. Specializing in IR18, IndyCar, and other open wheel liveries, Globex Racing Paints offers additional services, custom helmets, driver suits, help with your logo design and graphics. If you're looking for some great racing paints for your car, hit up Globex Racing Paints. You can find them on Facebook.com at Globex Racing Paints, or go ahead and contact them via email at globexracingpaints@gmail.com. That's Globex Racing Paints. With 22 laps remaining for your race leader, still the top 4 have yet to come to pit road. Drivers with a few issues. Looks like we have had some drivers with some off-track excursions. Once again, let's see what happened here to Carlos Palermo. Rookie driver has went off a track. Maxie Stang with another off-track excursion. Let's see what happened here with Palermo. Looking back on lap number 18 for Palermo, there you see him, just gets a little crossed up off track, nose cone, front wing. Heavily damaged in that one. Now we'll jump back. Let's see what happened here with Maxie Stang. Stang with yet another incident. There you see, just hitting that curb with that right front tire. Upset the car just enough, and Stang goes around. Another driver off track here tonight. Let's see how it all happened for Robert Sadler. There you can see Sadler on the brakes, gets crossed up under braking. Car gets a little loose, backs it in to the tire barrier. Doesn't look like it damaged the back end too much. Gearbox looks to be all right, but Sadler going to lose some time after that one. Oh, and yet another spin. There you see more drivers spinning off track. Oscar Fredrickson off track as well. So we've had multiple drivers spinning here on lap number 19. 19, not a very friendly number so far. Now we'll jump to this incident here. Robert Sadler comes back, cresting over the hill. Those tires screaming angry at this point. Off after two off tracks. Oh, and around Sadler goes yet again. And Sadler going to go ahead and just reset it to the pits. Tough day out there for a few of the drivers. Robert Sadler running inside the top 10, inside the top 5 at one point here tonight in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. But consistency is king, and he has had some troubles, and now off a track, your top 3 drivers all hit pit road. Maxie Stang still out on track. We'll see what Stang does here, if he's going to break to pit road, try to keep himself at least somewhat aligned with the race leaders as far as the tire strategies. But Stang also one of those drivers with an advantage by starting on the white wall tires. He's going to be able to switch over to those red walls and have a little bit more speed for the closing stages. And indeed, Stang going to bring his machine to pit road that time by Isaac Morris on and off of pit road with the race lead. Julian Altena goes off track. Altena off track. That's going to give the second spot to Sanders. Altena is struggling now for the grip on those cold tires. I tell you what, race fans, why don't we go down there trackside with one of our onboard cameras here tonight. Let's go down trackside with the driver inside that one, Dallara IR18, Julian Altena. Taking a look back at Altena, there you can see him gripping that wheel, trying to get the job done. Going now, right there, GoPro cam, just above the driver's helmet, letting you see all the track from the way the driver sees it. Down on the gas, in through that right-hander, up through the gears, back down all the way into first for that very sharp right-hander, up over the, you can hear the tires spin just a little bit there on Altena in second gear. Trying hard to run back down Gavin Sanders for that second spot, pushing the limits just a little bit on the corner exit there. Altena driving with some purpose. And as we continue this long green flag run here tonight, we'll run down, check in, do a few driver highlights here while we have a second man at the front of the field. Man, that has led the entire race here tonight after walking away with the pole position. There you see a man on screen. Driver of that 63 machine, Isaac Morris. Running in that top spot there, you can see that 63 being piloted by the 21-year-old Isaac Morris, getting the job done so far here tonight in the Oulton Park Grand Prix. Back running in the second spot there, you can see him, the 90 of Gavin Sanders. He has got a very frustrated, hard-charging driver right behind him, Julian Altena, right there. 16-year-old driving like an absolute veteran. Altena getting the job done here tonight. Back in the fourth spot there, you can find Oscar Fredrickson. Yet another young cat here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series, as we see drivers coming back off of pit road. Driver rounding out your top 5. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, and again off a track. That corner right there, one of the final corners, has caught a lot of drivers out here tonight. Gonzalez going to give up that top 5 spot to Maxi Stang. There you can see that 19-year-old out there driving yet again like another veteran. So multiple drivers, very young here, but that does not have anything to do with their skill. All these drivers very, very fast, very, very talented. 18 laps now remaining here in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix for Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series Season number 3, round number 3. And man, I don't know what else to say about the absolutely dominant performance that Isaac Morris has put on here tonight. He walked away with the pole position 2/10 faster than the field. Him and his crew were able to transfer that qualifying speed over to race speed. And he now enjoys a 3.5 second advantage over Gavin Sanders. Sanders does have Altona right there breathing down his neck once again. So we'll stick with this battle up towards the front of the field. Battle for the second and third spot. Right now, Gavin Sanders in second. Julian Altona hot on the trail right there on the gearbox. I tell you what, while we've got a second, let's see if we can't get you a shot from the rear of the car. And one of these times we'll get it right on the first try, race fans. I apologize. There it is right there as Altona has made the pass. Here comes Sanders. Good look back at Julian. A good look back at Gavin Sanders from Altona's diffuser, looking just over that rear wing. We'll wait to see if Altona hits one of those push-to-passes or not. We'll see that rear wing open up, and he'll get a little bit more speed out of this Dallara IR18. Great camera shots here. Great camera work by everybody back at the Turn 3 Racing headquarters. And we do want to take a moment to thank each and every one of the drivers, the team owners, for allowing us to put these great camera shots on the cars here for you tonight for the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. That's right, we're across the pond, race fans, and it has been one heck of a show. We'll go back now with one of our live track side cameras once again as the field continues to run around the track. 15 laps remaining out of the 40 scheduled in the official race distance here tonight. Does look like these drivers are going to fit this in before that 75-minute mark. So I don't believe the time going to be an issue here tonight. And Oscar Fredrickson, he's going to come to pit road. Fredrickson already on to pit road once. He's going to hit pit road for the second time here tonight. And what has happened to a few drivers, looks like as we were watching some of the battle up there at the front, it looks like having yet some more drivers hit pit road. Sadler back to pit road. Maxi Stang was able to make a pass on Fredrickson, and Fredrickson struggling to find some pace after his second pit stop here tonight. I don't believe we will see the drivers at the front of this field hit pit road again. Oh my goodness, and right there, Carlos Palermo off track yet again. Palermo with a spin. Lap 23, we'll check and see how it all happened here for Palermo. And there you see just around that corner. This is yet another corner that has caught a handful of drivers out here tonight. So multiple drivers caught up and involved with some self-spins, trying to get on the brake and get it to cut over that right hand, or the downhill right hand right there, has upset a lot of these Dallara IR18s, and we have seen a lot of self-spins through that corner. We'll continue to watch the man at the front just putting down blistering laps. The time and time again, best lap of the race goes to your race leader, a 1:11.05, and his last time by was a 1:11.42. So he is all over his quick time late in this run onto pit road about 7 laps ago, so the pace is still there. The pace is still in the tires for Morris. Gonna jump to the battle for position here. This is battle for that second and third spot. Julian Oulton has not been able to do away with Gavin Sanders. Sanders still hot on the trail. Looking just above the halo here in the Dallara IR-18 of Gavin Sanders. He's got Julian Oulton just off in the distance in front of him. Great camera shot once again here on top of Gavin Sanders. We're going to look back through the field. We do have another driver with this camera. Let's go back a little further through the field. Gary Godso right there. There you can see him trying to re-corral the car after a little bit of an off-track excursion. That being said, we'll go back to the front because the battle is still raging on for that second and third spots here on the podium. Oulton has got it, but Sanders wants to get that second spot back. Looks like we've had more drivers with some trouble here on lap number 27 out of the 40 scheduled in the official race distance for the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. We'll take a look back here, see what happened with Dakota Damage on lap number 27. There you can see Damage, and I think we're going to see it be that tricky corner once again. It's going to be that same one. There it is, checking up to get around that downhill right-hander, and Damage just locks it up, goes around, and loses a ton of time while doing all that. We'll jump back live once again with this battle for the second and third spot on track as Luis Gonzalez Nunez, he closes in or loses a position, I should say. Oscar Fredrickson taking the last spot in the top 5 away from Luis Gonzalez Nunez, and Nunez going to come to pit road for the second time now. Just a handful of laps remaining, and Nunez going to hit pit road for the second time. Will anybody in your top 4 spots hit pit road for a second time, or will they stay on this set of tires? We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds. And look right here, we've got a battle between different sets of tires on track. Julian Oulton on those red wall tires. Gavin Sanders back there, you see him right there, the white tires selected for Sanders. Will that come into play by the end of the race? Just 11 laps remaining in the Oulton Park Grand Prix. John Christensen looks like he's had a little bit of trouble. Let's go back here, see what happened to Christensen. Getting it queued up for you there, you see, up and over, down and into the tire barrier. Hard impact breaks the car. Wheels barely hanging on. That is going to be some big time trouble. Carlos Palermo also involved in a race incident, and we'll check this one out on the replay as well. The rookie struggling here tonight in the Oulton Park Grand Prix. There you see him, just yet another self-spin here for Carlos Palermo. He has been caught out a few times here. We'll take a look at this little battle. This pass right here, Dakota Damage makes a pass. Damage makes a pass for the 7th spot, taking that spot away from Jamie Jenkins. Jenkins with a good solid run. Still running inside the top 10, running in the 9th position. We'll rejoin the field back live at the front. There you can see Carlos Palermo, still some more issues, but back at the front of the field. 4.5 second race advantage for this man right here, Isaac Morris, and he has got the field in his hands well and clear. Nothing in front, nothing behind. Clear racetrack for Isaac Morris as he continues this absolute dominant performance. And oh my goodness, what has happened to Gavin Sanders? Julian Oulton off track as well. Oh my, what happened? gonna go back here. Look at this. Alton gets sideways, and oh no, Sanders, hard impact right into him. Oh my goodness, that is not good. We'll take one more look at this here. Oh, and hard impact, nowhere to go for Gavin Sanders. We'll take one more look here from Sanders' perspective on what happened. There you see Alton goes around. Ooh, tough break there for both of those drivers running at the front of the field. Both of them onto pit road now. Ooh, that is gonna shake up your podium spots. Will any of these drivers be able to run down the gap, be able to capitalize on that late race incident? Alton getting sideways off of the corner. Gavin Sanders nowhere to go, piles right in. And that is going to drop them two from grace. The witching hour has claimed some victims where race dreams become reality and championship hopes get crushed. Julian Alton and Gavin Sanders fall victim to a late race incident. That's going to drop both of those drivers out of a podium spot here tonight. Maxie Stang, Oscar Fredrickson now sitting second and third on a track with just 8 laps remaining here in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Globex Racing Paints, delivering awesome custom racing paints for your iRacing car or team, specializing in IR18 IndyCar as well as other open wheel liveries. Go on and check out Globex Racing Paints. You can find them on Facebook at Globex Racing Paints. Go ahead and contact them. Email them your ideas at globexracingpaints@gmail.com. Globex Racing Paints. And as the final few laps are winding down here tonight, do want to give yet another shout out to everybody back at Raceverse, sponsoring the top prizes in the season this time for Velocity Online Racing Season number 3. So big time step up by Raceverse, as well as Matt over there at Raceverse, putting up the prize pool for the top 5 here in the championship standings at the end of the season. Matt putting his own $100 prize pool up for these drivers to try to chase down. So big time shout out to you, Matt, and everybody else back at Raceverse, from not just myself but all of these drivers in the field, for all of your hard work and continued attention to each and every one of the drivers, as well as the league and series. Big gap now for the man on screen. Isaac Morris enjoys an almost 50-second advantage over Maxie Stang, running in the second spot. Oscar Fredrickson rounding out your podium drivers. And that, race fans, is all we have left on the lead lap here tonight. We started tonight's race with 25 drivers, 24 of them got to the starting grid. We still have 19 drivers out there on the track, but only 3 drivers remaining on the lead lap. Nunez all the way back to Houston, being scored down 1 lap. Michael Jeffries running in the 9th spot, being scored down 2 laps at this point in time. Heartbreak City here at Oulton Park Grand Prix for Julian Alton. He has been able to minimize the damage somewhat, get into damage control, bringing his one machine back inside the top 5, now running in that 5th position. But Gavin Sanders catching the brunt end of that, catching the short end of the stick, if you will. He is still down on pit road, trying to repair that machine after a great solid run, a solid showing all day here tonight in the Globex Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. He is now still down on pit road outside of the top 10, being shown in the 13th spot. With just a handful of laps to go, looks like Jamie Jenkins, he's had an issue. We'll jump back with the replay here. Looks like they've got it queued up. Let's see what happened to Jenkins. That familiar corner, we've seen it time and time again. That downhill right-hander has caught multiple drivers out. Jenkins trying to get the car righted, spins it yet again. There you see Maxie Stang go by. Oscar Fredrickson, Julian Altena, all going to make their way by. Will rejoin the front of the field live as your race leader driver piloting that number 63 Delara IR18, Isaac Morris, continues his dominating ways here tonight for the Oulton Park Grand Prix. Only 5 laps remaining here tonight, and Morris will put himself into victory lane. Will our race leader be able to keep the pace? Will he be able to keep it on the asphalt? That's the biggest key. You get off the track and into some of that kitty litter, you could just find yourself running into one of those Armco barriers or one of the tires barriers, and you could find yourself out of tonight's race very quickly. Things can change here at Oulton Park in the Globex Racing Paints Grand Prix. Checking through timing and scoring, trying to find some battles on track. There you can see right here, Jamie Jenkins, he's slowly closing the distance on Michael Jeffries. That's going to be a battle for the 8th and 9th spot on track. And there you see Jenkins takes that spot away around the outside. Jeffries just going to let him have it here. And with that battle done and over with, looking through the timing and scoring towers, trying to see if we can't locate any more close battles out there on the track for you. And it doesn't look like we have anybody really within a 1 second gap of the next driver. So we'll go back up to the front, and Luis Gonzalez Nunez with a crash. Nunez has some issues. Let's see what happened here with Nunez. And yet again, I believe we're going to find it to be. And see, just the car just locks up right there. Nunez had more troubles before he ever even got to that corner. Nunez struggling just to try to finish tonight's race. And I think that very well may be the mood of a lot of the drivers out there on track, just trying to survive these final 3 laps here tonight at Oulton Park for the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here tonight. And if you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up. Smack it 2 or 3 times, because they have put on an absolute show. Click subscribe. Smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 Racing headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you stopping by. These drivers appreciate each and every one of you stopping by. And go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Let these drivers know you appreciate all the great action they have provided you with here tonight in the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Just 2 laps remaining for the man on screen. Dominant performance here tonight, has almost a 45-second race advantage back to his closest competitor. Isaac Morris sat on top of the pole position, walked away with that. He's going to walk away with the most laps led. He's going to walk away with the point for leading. a lap. He's going to walk away with the points for snatching the pole position. He's not going to come to pit road. Final lap, little shake of the car as he gets the white flag here in the Oulton Park Grand Prix. Can he bring his race verse machine around the track just one final time to get to victory lane? Isaac Morris gonna go to the victory lane for the first time this season. Can he get the job done? Cannot lose focus. Lap machine right behind him. What does your race leader do? Does he just let him go? Yes, indeed. He's just going to move to the outside, let the back marker by. Doesn't want to deal with it. Doesn't want an issue. As we see more drivers off track, looks like Michael Jeffries has went off a track as well. Morris very aware of the situation, very aware of the gap. He's let the back marker by. He's gonna come across the stripe for the race win. Just the final corner here. And there you have it, down the corner, shaking the car. Winner, winner. Race fans, there you have it. Checkered flag flies here tonight in the Oulton Park Grand Prix, sponsored by Globex Racing Paints in partnership with Race First here for the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series. There you can see him, man of the moment. Dominating performance. Isaac Morris walking away with the race win. What a way to win tonight's race. Walking away with just an absolutely outstanding performance here tonight. As he enjoys his celebration down there on track, burning it down here in his IndyCar. Loving every minute of it. We're going to get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Back at it, little bit of issues, technicalities, and they have kicked us out of the track here tonight. We have put on such a great show. Looks like they've went ahead and closed down the track, so we'll continue the post-race interviews. No problems with that. Let's see if we can't catch in a word or two with the driver that walked away in the third and final podium spot. Let's see if Oscar Fredrickson, you got a copy?
Yes, hello.
Hey, bud, a great run out there tonight. Great finish. You walked away with a third place here tonight. Walk us through a little bit of your race. How eventful was it out there on the track tonight?
Yeah, that was very eventful. I mean, I'm in third place, but I'm considering my driving. I'm not very happy with my race on its own, but it's a great result. I had like 2 or 3 spins, I think. One resulted in damage. So, this track is so difficult to drive to, even just hot lapping is difficult, and in this race we have to think about the tires too, just they go off really fast. So after I had that incident on lap 2, I think, I went off the track in the last corner. I just wanted to nurse my tires, try and go as long as possible, hopefully get to the end safely, and maybe get some free positions, which I ended up doing. So great result in the end.
Well, with being able to select the tires that you wanted to run when you wanted to run those tires, as well as the being able to implement the push to pass here at the road course, did that play into any of your strategy in how the race unfolded for you?
Yes, definitely. So I really don't know what strategy the other people were doing, but I started on the red tires, and then I went on lap 11, I think, to the black, the harder compound, and I just tried to extend that as long as possible and do a 2-stop race. And I definitely wouldn't have been able to do that on the red tire, so that was definitely crucial for my strategy to do one less stop than other people might have done. And the push to pass, I didn't even use them all. Considering tire wear was such an issue, I just wanted to save the tires as much as I can.
Well, Oscar, it was a heck of a race out there tonight for the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Before we let you go and celebrate the third place here tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody else on the side of that car?
Yeah, I would definitely like to thank my team. We worked together to try and figure out a strategy to actually be able to run this race distance, just the tires go off so fast. So shout out to Julian and Robert and Gary, and extra shout out to Julian and Robert, just they would have both finished ahead of me probably, but they got involved in the instance more than I did. So just a big thank you to those for working well with me, and yeah, also a big shout out to today's sponsor for the race. It's great that we've come this far, that we can have sponsors for every race this season. I think we have at least for the first 3. So yeah.
All right. Well, once again, Oscar, a heck of a job out there tonight in the Oulton Park Grand Prix, and we look forward to catching up with you next week at Indianapolis.
Yes.
There you have it. Final few words from the driver finishing in the third spot here tonight, rounding out your podium. And it looks like, unfortunately, not going to be able to catch a post-race interview with the driver walking away in second, Maxi Stang, capitalizing on a late race incident by a few of the drivers. So Stang, unfortunately, not available for post-race interview. So that will lead us to the man of the hour walking away with the race win, Isaac Morris. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, yes, loud and clear.
Hey, man, you went out there and just dominated. You stunk up the place, just absolutely walked away with this thing. You had a little battle there with Julian at one point in time, but how good does it feel to sit on pole, lead the most laps, and walk away with the race win?
You know, pretty good. Again, 2 weeks in a row now. Got the triple crown, sort of, fastest lap, pole, and race win. So yeah, it feels pretty good, and it's really good for the championship as well. It puts me in a nice solid position. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my performance tonight.
Well, happy with the way the car ran, happy with the results. How happy are you looking ahead at next week when we head back across the pond, back to what I still consider an oval, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Have you and the crew members begun to even think about that race yet, or are you going to just sit here and enjoy this race win for a couple days?
I'm probably going to sit here and enjoy it for a couple days before I start racking my brains over Indy. Sometimes it's nice to take a small break after such a hectic week trying to learn this track, learn the setup, learn the car. Like with the way that the tires were, it was just a nightmare to keep the car at a quick pace. Because if you look at the fastest lap, I think it was like an 11.0. I think I did, and then if you compare it to quali, I did like a 109.3, and so it's like a 2.7 second gap from quali to 1.7. Sorry, bad maths. There's quite a large gap from the quali pace to the race pace. But yeah, really looking forward to Indy though. We'll probably start practice on Tuesday, and just happy I don't have to qualify for the Special 6 because it's going to be tough.
Yeah, those 6 drivers not locked in that are going to have to race their way in, they've got a tall task at hand. You don't have to worry about that. So again, Isaac, congratulations on yet another dominant performance here so far this season. Before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that car?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout-out to Matt and Raceverse for having me on the team. It's a great pleasure to be a part of such a good team. I want to give out a shout out to Sunset Arctic Games for sponsoring Raceverse this season. I want to give a shout out to my brother as well for watching. So thanks, Josh. Appreciate you coming and watching me win another race.
All right, well, we'll let you enjoy your celebrations, and we'll try to catch up with you next week at Indianapolis.
Thank you, Dave. Have a good one.
There you go, walking away with the race win in dominant fashion here tonight. That was driver of that 63 machine, Isaac Morris, with a dominating performance, walking away with the pole position. You heard him say the Triple Crown, so to speak, all in the one race a weekend. He walked away with the pole position, led the most laps. Fastest lap of the race, if you want to throw that one in there too. He's got that one as well as the race win. So Morris getting the job done, and it seems like producers hitting the buttons in the background. So we'll run down your unofficial race results for tonight's Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Walking away with the race win after the pole position, Isaac Morris. Finishing in second here tonight, Maxie Stang. Rounding out your podium, Oscar Fredrickson, Julian Alton are going to finish in fourth. Dakota Damage in fifth. Sixth place goes to Matt Houston. Jamie Jenkins right there in seventh. Eighth place, Craig Forsyth. Luis Gonzalez Nunes going to slot home in ninth. 10th place, Diego Perino. Carlos Palermo gonna slot home in 11th. Michael Jeffries gonna finish in 12th. Gary Gotso slotting home in 13th. 14th spot goes to Robert Sadler. John Christensen gonna round out your top 15th. 16th place goes to Gavin Sanders after a late race incident. Sanders falls from grace back to the 16th spot. Victor Santos gonna finish in the 17th spot. 18th is met up Paul Well as in 19th. Christopher Kresge, Lewis Woodall, Nick DeGroot gonna finish in 21st. 22nd goes to Dave Stedman. Alex Van de Sant gonna walk away from the track in 23rd. 24th goes to Thomas Gessler, and rounding out the field here tonight, Shane Coogan. Another one in the books, race fans. Another great race here in Velocity Online Racing Season number 3, round number 3, the Globex Racing Paints Oulton Park Grand Prix. Do got to keep in mind the upcoming schedule here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series. There you can see it. We head to Indianapolis Motor Speedway next week, then off to the Milwaukee Mile. Those are going to be some great races as well. Next weekend's events look a little something like that. There's the schedule, there's the rundown. Thursday and Friday nights, those qualifying races for the drivers outside of the top 20 in points. They're going to have to race their way into next week's race. We'll have to wait to see who gets that all done. And with that being said, race fans, stay safe, stay loved. Till next time, we'll meet you in turn 3.
Globex Racing Paints, delivering awesome custom racing paints for your iRacing car or team. Specializing in IR18 IndyCar and other open wheel liveries, NASCAR, sprint and dirt cars, and more. Additional services include custom helmets and driver suits, logo designs, and graphics. Contact them today on Facebook at Globex Racing Paints or email them at globexracingpaints@gmail.com. Globex Racing Paints, delivering awesome custom racing paints for your iRacing car or team.